Do you ever just sit down, look at the person or people who dislike you, and think, even though you're trying to ruin me or get back at me for petty stuff, all I feel is pity for you? That's exactly how I feel when I look at Only Jesp, or as she's known as now, FishLizard.Zip. I'm making this video to more or less talk about my experiences with her and why I feel she's not worth the effort in responding to. If you don't know who Jesp is, she was a commentary channel with over 700 to 800 subscribers before she deleted her channel. The reason behind her account deletion was because she had made a video about prison mate Luke where she had used private information of a funeral home which included names and other personal information. Jesp's reasoning behind doing this was because she wanted to praise Luke and thought this would earn the GoFundMe more donations. But this resulted in the organizer getting angry at her and Jesp's ostracization from the commentary community, with many people cutting ties with her. Jesp would later change her Twitter profile to what can only be described as overdramatic and tweet some rather alarming stuff about hurting people with her actions and wanting to end her own life. Now, a part of me believes that Jesp did this just to gain sympathy points, but the other part of me is concerned and really believes she should speak to someone about this because social media isn't a therapist. She would then make a video saying she was taking responsibility for what she did while apologizing to the people in question. But after my friend Shu and I gave her criticism for how she handled the Mari drama, we found that her account was deleted. After a while, Jesp would make a new account called Why Are You Here? And release a video called Final Statement, which has since been deleted. To sum it up, Jesp apologizes for some of the things she did, but doesn't owe Mari an apology despite the fact that Jesp slandered her in a video that has since been deleted from her old channel, as well as her lack of self-awareness because of the reason that she was dissociated from the commentary community was because of the aforementioned leaking of the funeral home when she made her video on prison mate Luke. Now that I've delved into Jesp's history for a bit, I'm now going to talk about my personal experience with her. I'll be honest, I didn't know who Jesp was until I looked into the Mari drama myself with my friend Evan. I did comment on her Final Statement video, but my true one-on-one confrontation with Jesp would be on the 24th of March 2021 on Discord. I won't show our entire conversation because I don't feel the need to, but I will show you 2 screenshots of us burying the hatchet. Notice how nice she seems here? Jesp was even willing to delete a tweet that revealed my Discord name, and she even agrees that Cal has done wrong too. After we settled our differences, we went to do our own thing. But something in the back of my head was telling me not to trust Jesp. With what was already said about her, I felt it was appropriate to remain skeptical around Jesp just in case she would do something to backstab me in some way, shape, or form. Cut to April 7th. Jesp tweets about how she's going to make another video on Mari in defense of Cal again. Underneath, she then spread a bunch of lies by saying that we broke her down and we said that she lied about her sexual harassment because her being a CSA/CSCM survivor wasn't proof. Jesp made another tweet stating that I was one of Mari's affiliates, which would imply that we're connected through an organization that Mari somehow owns. Remember her tweets on March 24th when Jesp was in support of Mari after I told her that she was doxxed by Cal? This is Jesp pretty much backpedaling on her previous statement in order to support the person that she criticized. Hell, in our Discord conversation, Jesp admitted that Cal had messed up. This is a perfect example of her being extremely two-faced when it comes to drama. It took Jesp 2 weeks from being against Cal to suddenly supporting her again. This either demonstrates just how two-faced she is, or how flimsy Jesp is with evidence that she'd change her opinions at the drop of a hat. Can you see why I decided to remain skeptical and not trust Jesp at all? Because of stuff like this. I later learned from a friend of mine, MintySh1t, that Jesp was going to commentate on my 2 videos because they were tone deaf and gross. And I'm thinking to myself, how are my 2 videos tone deaf and gross? And I was prepared to make a response video just in case it happened. But I initially thought Jesp wasn't going to go commentate on my 2 videos. That is until Saturday the 17th of April 2021, when I got a comment from an account by the name of Mind Your Business. I thought this was just another hate comment on my video, but I felt the need to check Jesp's Twitter, and what do I find? Her tweeting if someone can find the script for my video, as she planned on making a response to it. As well as a second tweet about my second video, which was released on February. When I saw these tweets and comments, I'll be honest with you, I was pretty giddy because I knew for a fact Jesp's videos were going to be emotionally driven rather than factual. But then as the days progressed, I was stressed out beyond repair, and on Wednesday, after taking my driving lesson and then watching a video on vegan gains by 16Leo, I had this epiphany. Vegan gains tends to insult people, challenge people to debates about veganism and respond to their videos just to stay relevant, and this made me think about Jesp and how she's planning to respond to my video. And I thought to myself, why argue with someone who solely relies on drama to stay relevant? Let's be real for a moment, Jesp has already destroyed her own reputation by leaking a funeral home in order to praise Luke in her video on him. And now she's trying to salvage her lost career by involving herself in drama and making a response video to me. Which is ironic because Jesp has stated that drama makes her feel anxious, but ends up involving herself in drama anyways. Even her old Twitter name says she's only using this for a bit, yet Jesp tweets about drama, likes tweets about drama, retweets drama and stuff like that on her new Twitter account. It's like a drug, Jesp just can't stay out of drama until she gets her fix. I was originally ready to make a response when Jesp's videos dropped, then I felt stressed, and now all I feel is pity for Jesp. Because this is just how far she's willing to go in order to save what's left of her already destroyed reputation. If your career has already been ruined beyond repair, then why continue in that area? All you're doing is just hurting yourself by yelling in an echo chamber and surrounding yourself with yes men/yes women. That's not a way to make a career, because you won't gain anything from that, and the moment you say the wrong thing, those people will immediately turn against you easily, or they may end up feeding your ego. This is going to be my first and last video on Jesp and commentary as a whole, because honestly, she's not worth the effort in responding to, and she'll prove to me that she's relying on drama just to salvage her lost reputation. And this is my last message to Jesp. Please get off the internet and get some therapy. Because with the way that you're acting on Twitter with all this talk about ending your own life and drama making you feel sick, that is really concerning. I understand having mental issues as I have them myself, but if you continue on this path of self-destruction, then you're only destroying yourself even more. I'm being genuine here. Take a long hiatus from the internet and get some help. This is, without question, my last video on anything commentary or drama related. I want to give special thanks to my friends for helping me out during this drama, and MintySh1t for giving me the motivation to make this video. I'll give this over to her as she has her own experiences with Jesp.
Hello, it's me, Minty, and today I wanted to basically come and say my experiences with Jesp, just to kind of help back up and validate some of Jamaican Hedgie's claims about Jesp and some of the things that she has been doing that is extremely wilding. Now, I didn't really have any sort of opinion on Jesp. I barely knew her until we kind of became friends. This was shortly after the Toby Majestic video that I did, that essentially it kind of had to do in order to help vindicate a few of my friends who had been directly targeted by Toby. So kind of by association, I was definitely involved in the drama, not necessarily wanting to be, but Jesp approached me in the DMs basically saying that she really loved my video, she wanted to come and ask me for advice, of all people. I was quite honored to help her formulate her script for her video on the Toby Majestic drama. Now, mind you, at this point, I kind of was a little bit uneasy, a little bit curious as to why she wanted to make a video when a lot of my video and a few other people who were involved in the drama at the time made their videos already, and I didn't see, well, maybe, I thought in the back of my head that maybe Jesp had something to add that I just didn't know about. So she made her script. It was about 80 something pages, maybe 87, 86 pages, and I read through most of it to the point where I pretty much said, you know, so far so good, when she kept giving me progress on different things in the doc, and then finally she got to a point where she was involving people who were quite malicious and weren't helping her cause. Now, at the same time when she was doing the Toby Majestic video, she was also wanting to incorporate a person who was also involved in the Toby Majestic drama, Toasty Vanilla. And at the time, me and Toasty Vanilla were not really talking, but he did reconcile with the whole thing that he did within the Toby Majestic drama, so I didn't have any sort of particular bias for or against him. I just wanted, like she said, to get the facts out. And she was very fixated on the idea that Toasty Vanilla might have been a groomer. He was having inappropriate relations with underage people, and I was like, okay, if you have evidence of this, go right ahead and let people know that this is the truth. But things started to get a little funky in the roadblock. She started using people like a YouTube commentator by the name of Akumu, who is a, I believe, 16, 17-year-old commentator who has a history of gathering up people who he considers to be his, like, soldiers. He kind of breeds like an anime villain, and basically would go around falsely accusing people of things, cutting up clips of audio to make himself look better, as well as him and his subordinates often secretly recording people's conversations without their consent or permission. And this was very concerning to me because she was using this person as a direct source to cite her claims against Toasty Vanilla, as well as some of her other things. And I warned her initially about doing so, but she kind of brushed me off and didn't really pay much mind to me. So the real issue I only had with her was when she got into a Discord call with Akumu, his partner at the time, and some other people who were in there. Mind you, I ended up making friends with one of the people in there. They were pretty chill to me. These were a bunch of kids, mind you, trying to gang up on adults, and essentially they wanted to have like a private call with me. Mind you, I was a little bit busy. I was either asleep or occupied with something at the moment, so I couldn't come to Jess' response right away. She decided to seek out another friend who I personally trusted, and she personally knew my social media, to try and get my personal information without my consent, because she was so anxious to get on Akumu and the other people in that group's good side to try and basically get to talking to me without being patient. I found this a direct violation of my privacy. As soon as I found out that that's what she was trying to do, I immediately told Jesp, stop doing that, do not do that, as well as my friend, who essentially let me know that I didn't give out any information because it didn't feel right to me. And I'm just grateful that my friend was smart enough to not give away any sort of information about me, and I definitely let Jesp have it. It was very concerning to me, especially when I kept trying to tell her, if you have evidence regarding the Toasty Vanilla drama and Toby Majestic, you need to have it present. You can't have a he said, she said. And of course, regardless of me warning her time and time again, she literally didn't listen to me, and it ended up blowing up in her face when Junkie basically did a whole deep dive on the Toby Majestic drama and involved their snippet with Jesp, and basically pretty much scolded her, and they pretty much got on her for basically doing exactly what I told her was going to happen if she did not have the proper evidence and used people who were not reliable sources. So essentially, she had been wilding ever since. She sort of went downhill. I had to deal with another situation where she was going out of her way to try and go punching up to bigger YouTubers, which is something that commentary channels that are small tend to do to get clout. And she was going after people who weren't really a bad person, you know, like she went after Hotbox, who somebody is fairly just one of the least controversial people I've known personally. I've been in calls with Hotbox. He was not a bad person, but she was going out of her way to try and start beef with him over something that she literally could have just DM'd him. I responded to her in DMs. I said, hey, maybe you should just talk it out. Unfortunately, a lot of our conversations were lost to the fact that she went a little bit off the deep end in regards to her mental health, and she ended up deleting a lot of her old account stuff, so I couldn't preserve a lot of this because I wasn't expecting to have to make any sort of speech or testimonial on her. But if I had those receipts, I definitely would show them. but it essentially was quite a volatile state that she was in. I do have the screenshot where she did acknowledge to me personally in recent DMs that that did happen and she did apologize for it, although that did make me look at her differently in regards to my personal information, that she was willing to give it away to random people who I specifically told her were people who breach privacy and do not have any regard for anyone's privacy. And with that being said, I do hope that this little testimonial in my part of Jamaican Hedgie's video helps to sort of confirm the claims that Jesp has been going on a downward spiral, and I personally think that she should step away from YouTube. I don't want to be a part of this video to basically shame her or have people laugh at her, but to essentially just tell her straight up, you've got to take a break, you've got to stop this, it's getting out of hand, to the point that she is becoming slanderous in her claims of different things, and then she's even aligning herself with people who are quite literally way beyond her best interest. And again, I did try to warn her in the DMs, basically saying, hey, let's not do this, you really just need to take a break. There are people talking, like actual people within like bigger circles talking about you, like saying that you are not good for the community, and I didn't want her, essentially her reputation, to be shattered completely over something that she could literally just back away, stop, and analyze, which is something she ironically criticized Toby for when, you know, she was going through her drama. So I hope if you're watching this, Jesp, which I'm sure you are, I hope you just seek the help that you need and just kind of take a break off the internet. I feel like it's too much for you, it's too much pressure. In my time of knowing you, it seemed like you were quite a gentle soul and that you really need to just step back. And with that being said, I want to hand it back over to Jamaican Hedgie for this. Thank you for having me in your video.
To quote Harvey Dent and Mark Twain, you either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all later. Bye.